I'm out here moving drugs, and I'm watching my back so I can keep you guys safe and a place to stay, so I can keep my sisters going to school, you know? And it kills me that she's not with me today, but I do what I can, you know?
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're on the beautiful Las Vegas Strip here with Dustin. How you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in there, I'm getting through.
Yeah. Tell me about your life, Dustin. What's going on with you right now?
Right now, I'm currently homeless.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy in my shoes, but I find it in me every day to keep my head up and hustle through it, you know? And find the motivation, whether it's helping somebody out and putting a smile on their face to keep pushing and, you know, keep moving forward, or if it's just, you know, just another day trying to find a money move.
How old are you, Justin?
About to be 22 on January 12th.
Do you give us permission to use this video on our YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
Dustin, I want to hear about your life story, but can you tell me what you're struggling with right now? What kind of drugs?
I currently do crystal. I smoke weed. Who doesn't smoke weed? I mean, it's pretty great medicine, mental wise.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, I try to steer clear of everything else. Everything else is more of just like a mess around or have a good vacation away from everything else, you know?
All right. You know, let's start from the beginning, Dustin. Where were you born?
Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, what high school did you go to?
I went to Western High School.
Western, that's a famous high school.
Yeah, it's off of Bonanza and Decatur.
I know where it is. Anyone famous come from that high school?
A couple rappers.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
cool.
if not rappers, a few models.
Yeah.
I know there's a few people in the Hispanic or the Latin culture that got pretty big and do pretty big for their culture.
Oh, that's cool. Was there the population at that school, was it mainly Hispanic or white?
It was
or black?
more Hispanic and black. Yeah, out of my 4 years there, probably like anywhere between 15 and 25 white people.
What kind of student were you?
I was always one to help the teachers, but you know, when I wasn't in class, or when I'm supposed to be, I guess, I was out trying to make money so that I could help my mom pay rent or get gas for the next day to get my sisters to school. But all the teachers loved me, so they worked with me and worked with my schedule, and they knew what was going on to really like kind of keep it discreet on what I was doing, but still help me graduate.
Yeah, you're a likable guy. Did you have how many siblings?
I have 3 sisters.
All right, and then we grew up with mom and dad, or just one?
My mom and dad were divorced when I was 6. And when my dad walked out that door, I walked into his shoes. So they divorced when I was 6, and by the time I was like 7, 8 years old, I was helping my mom put money on the table.
Was there any abuse in the home growing up?
No.
No physical?
Not necessarily between our bloodline.
Yeah.
But when my mom would try to step in and, you know, help out with the roof over her head, she'd get with these guys I didn't agree with because, you know, they weren't the nicest of guys, and they weren't the most treatable to my mom, so.
Did any of your parents use? Did any of your parents use drugs?
My mom.
If you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to.
Okay. It's okay. My mom didn't use until the moment she went into the hospital, and the hospital stuck a camera down her tube. It was for like a evaluation or something, but they pulled the camera up, gave her ammonia, told her they pulled fluid into her lung, told her she has 3 years to live. So she thought, why not? She's gonna fuck around.
Why do you think you're using drugs? I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Go ahead, keep going.
You're okay. My dad, he always kept it discreet, but when I started doing my hustle or started getting into, you know, making my money for my mom or whatever, then I found out about it a little easier, and you know, I helped him get what he needed, but it was never like that between me and him.
Why do you think you use drugs then?
The reason I use drugs, the pain in my back, and really like the depression. Depression in the last 7 years, I want to say, has been really damaging to my mental health.
Oh, tell me about your depression.
My depression?
Yeah.
So it started early in you know, like my younger days. My sisters, my 2 older sisters and my 1 younger sister, you know, we're going through a lot. They always had drama, and so they were depressed as well, and they would cut their skin or something and have try suicide, and I had to talk them down, you know. And then me being the hustler I was for my mom, being the shoulder to cry on for my mom and just doing everything I was, you know, it deals a lot to a person. And as a strong man I am, I just powered through it. I kept my head up, and you know, it dawns on me because, you know, I didn't ever have somebody to talk to, and my friends were more like, you know, my brothers, but you know, they didn't need to hear that stuff, so I kept it from them. Yeah. So it started early with my depression, but if I don't have something to keep me moving, keep me motivated, out of the house or out of bed, you know, like a hustle or like just anything to keep me up, you know, then I sleep for days and I won't eat. If I get depressed, I lose my appetite and I can't really sleep, so I go days without sleeping. I stay inside, I don't eat, I get real skinny. And it's like, that's worse on my person than the drug is right now, because being a skater and everything, you know, being hit by 14 cars skating, and then as well as a passenger or driver in a car, it really stops the pain in my back. But it also keeps me moving enough. It keeps me out of my head, and it keeps me focused on what I need to focus on.
Have you been diagnosed with anything?
Chronically depressed. I'm ADHD, OCD, and I have impulsive disorder.
A what disorder?
Impulsive disorder.
Impulsive disorder, okay.
It's a real disorder, and it's not seen a lot on most documents, medical-wise, but it's a real order, like disorder. It's called impulsive disorder. I make my choices very impulsively.
Okay. Were you in a special needs program at school or anything?
I was not. I had a speech program when I was younger due to my stutter. I stutter a lot, and you'll know when I get depressed because like my stutter will come out, and it's hard to speak.
All right, so you graduated.
I graduated high school. After high school, I moved into college.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Out into, it's Avondale or Phoenix, Arizona. I was going to Universal Technical Institute. So I was going for automotive and diesel. And then I was in a Ford FACT program that would put me through Porsche. They'd send me out to the East Coast for Porsche training. And I learned Porsche from the ground up for 9 months. And after that, I worked for them for 3 years. They'll pay off $30,000 of my debt. But I came out in February and March for a 2-month break or vacation away from school because I got through my automotive course. I was about to go into diesel. And I came out February and COVID hit in March. 2-month vacation. Kind of shut me out of school, and after that, it's kind of been downhill. I can't get into a shop for a job because I don't have my own tools, you know, because that's what the school is supposed to do for me. But I have about $1,700 left to pay off on my school out of $56,500.
Let me tell you something. I could tell you're a very, very smart young man. What are some of your other skill sets that you have?
Well, while I was finishing up high school through junior to senior year. And then even a little bit before I went out to college, I remodeled my mom's home. 2-bed, 2-bath. It was a kind of a vacant trailer. And it's a double wide on a nice little piece of property, and everything inside was flooded. It was run down, so we ripped the it was me and my stepdad that did this. We ripped up the subfloor, laid new subfloor, ran our own plumbing, and we turned it to a 5-bed, 3-bath.
What did you dream of becoming when you were a little kid?
A master tech. I wanted to own my own shop, 6-bays auto, 6-bays diesel with a parts store up front. And my brother was going to run a dispensary right next to my automotive shop with a fresh bakery ran out of it.
You have a lot of dreams. I think you can achieve them, buddy. What do you think is keeping you from achieving your dreams? What is it?
Honestly, right now, like, I have a slight legal background, you know, and it's nothing major. But it's hard to find a job when everybody's applying. They see somebody with a cleaner record and less requirements. They'd rather train somebody with a cleaner record than.
You got a felony?
No.
Okay.
But I've applied at multiple places. I've had my license since I was 18. So, you know, driver, if anything really. But the only thing really holding me back is if I had a job, it's hard to go back and forth to a job when being home is outside. You know, so coming home would be walking out of the store.
If someone's watching this and they feel your story, what can they do for you?
If they can help me get into a place, I can manage the payments. If I could get, honestly, 3 months up front, I could get on top of everything I need to, and I could even go back out to school and finish it.
Okay. How bad are you addicted to these drugs?
I've did this for my own personal self. I've withdrawn. I've gone 6 months. I've gone 9 months.
Yeah.
And you know, those times are usually more depressing because I'm in my head, and you know, it's like, but I get through it, and it's like, it's to the point where like just the other day I withdrew for the whole week, and you know, I just couldn't stand the pain, so I did a line and you know, eased the pain in my back, and I keep moving.
What would you like to see yourself in 2 years, Dustin?
2 years, I'd like to be in a house or like an apartment, you know, with a job, just keeping myself steady so that I can push myself back out to school and finish it and get my requirements and tools and everything I need to be the mechanic I always wanted to be. I took 3 years of automotive classes in high school.
I think you can do it.
And it doesn't, honestly, if I had a place, it doesn't matter where in town I go. It could be the most ghetto, it could be the most fancy. I mean, I get along with everybody.
What if a subscriber wants to help you, but he wants you, or she wants you off drugs?
I could do that.
How are you going to do that? Do you know where to go?
I would have to see my primary doctor or see a doctor. I do have to see a doctor, a dentist anyways. I want to get my teeth fixed again. But I'd have to see a doctor and see what they can't do for me for my pain in my back. Because
I have a feeling someone's going to reach out to you, bro.
I really hope so. Because
speaking on that, before you go on, what's your? Do you have an email address that someone can? That they want to...
So I've had a few different ones. I don't have a consistent phone, but my current one is dchancelivinlifeeswc@gmail.com.
Okay. I think you're gonna touch a lot of people, and
honestly, like I see a lot of faces out here, you know, and right now it's so cold outside that at night most people find a place to go, but sometimes I'm the only one left on the streets, and it's like, I understand it because, you know, people make connections or whatever, but there's a lot of different personalities and stories out here, and I don't agree with the I'm gonna say it, the fiend kind of way, the one who has itches for drugs, you know, who needs them to live, because you know, they're talking about it being their medicine, but it really doesn't help them, you know. So it's like all they're doing is damaging themselves and their mental state, and they're becoming somebody they can't be helped. So
you think the government could do more for the homeless population out here?
I believe they could do more, but they could also they could give the people a lot of a break by like looking the other direction for small petty cases, because I've been pulled over by the cops, and if I didn't know my laws, if I didn't do my research on what I know today, then I would have been in jail for longer than I have. And I've sat there and been pulled over, slammed on a hood, and slammed against the wall different occasions, and I've fought my way out with my words, like, because I know what to say, I know my laws, and a lot of the time they're pulling me over for a petty case, and like jaywalking or something. I mean, there's not enough crosswalks out here and stuff like that, you know. And
I agree with you.
Yeah, already being, you know, having a record, they're one to see. Oh, they run my face, they run my name. They're like, okay, let's get him again. He'll do 90 days this time.
Well, you're very young. I want to go back a little bit. What age or what time was it when you started seeing a change where the drugs kind of took you in the wrong path?
I was about 9 years old.
9. What happened?
Well, I started smoking weed. You know, the weed was the one thing that stuck with me the most because it helps my OCD and it levels me out. You know, it neutralizes me. And so I'll break it down like this. So when my dad walked out and I walked into his shoes by the time I was 7, at first I was side hustling, finding side work, mowing lawns, doing whatever I could to make money. And then after a year of that, I was 8, and I was, you know, holding up a sign in between Texas and Fiesta on Lake Mead and Rancho, and I had some people walk up to me, and they spit me some game and was like, hey, like, I've seen you out here for the last few years, like, what are you making this money for, because you're so young? And I was like, well, I do it for my mom and my sisters. Like, my sisters got to have gas in the car so my mom can get them to school. There's got to be food on the table. There's got to be rent paid, otherwise they don't have a place to stay. And he's like, I see you out here every day, and that's what you do it for. He's like, do you really need the money that bad? And I'm like, we need it bad, you know. I could get my family into an apartment if I had enough money, or if I had enough move to get it, you know. And they were like, well, walk with us, and we'll talk some game to you. And, you know, from there it kind of flipped into the drug game, where it was like, so smoking weed and selling drugs. It was like cocaine at first, and then it was like cocaine and crystal, and then it moved into psychedelics like shrooms, acid, and Molly. And from there, my mom didn't really know at first, and I didn't break this down for her until I was about 16, 17 years old, and she broke down bad. It hurt me to see her like that, but she finally got the courage to ask me, like, where do you get all of this money for me from? And I said, Mom, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, like, I know you don't want to hear this, but I'm out here moving drugs, and I'm watching my back so I can keep you guys safe and a place to stay, so I can keep my sisters going to school, you know? And it kills me that she's not with me today, but I do what I can, you know?
I'm so sorry about your mom. When did she pass away?
November 13th last year.
Okay.
The hospital, the first initial hospital visit, they kind of scared her of going back. They were supposed to do just like an evaluation, a checkup. They had a camera down her throat, and when they pulled it back up, they put fluid into her lung. Told her she has 3 years to live. And we got her past that three-year marker, and she made it to 4.5 years. But she passed away last year. My dad's over here in Naked City, but he's struggling with trying to get a place as well, because his woman, you know, always threatens to kick him out. Like, it's not your place to stay. So like, I'm really doing this for me, for him to, so he can have a place to fall back on as well if he needs it. But I got my sisters where they are today. My oldest sister is married to a trans. His name's Andrew.
A what?
A transgender.
Oh, a trans. Okay.
From female to male.
Okay.
And he's going through all this stuff. He's doing the testosterone and everything. And they're married. They've been married for, I want to say, 5 years. They have an apartment, 2 little dogs, a big dog, a few cats. They both have jobs. One works at Amazon, and I don't know where Andrew works, but...
Your sisters are good? You get
my second oldest sister.
Okay.
Out in North Carolina, married to her female, they're lesbian.
Okay.
And my youngest sister's out there with them as well, with a kid. And you know, they're all doing great. I got them where they are today, but you know, they can't always help me, and you know, like, I'm not gonna burden them with my problems, especially when it was another thing staying with them and trying to get off drugs, but still trying to keep the hustle up. But if I had my own place, I could do it for sure.
Okay. When you're out here on the streets, have you ever been propositioned by either men or women?
Yes. So I've had multiple occasions. I want to say about 5 or 6 with guys. You know, they ask me if I want to smoke, and you know, usually when I'm at a low in the bag and I ain't got much left, I'm like, yeah, I'll take a line. I don't smoke, but I can give you a place to do it, you know. And then we get to the place and they start rubbing up on me, and I'm like, bro, I'm straight. I can't do that, you know. Got to be respectful to myself, you know. And I just, they're like, so we're not gonna do anything. And usually they do some weird stuff in the background. I just keep my focus on what I'm doing, and then I get the out of there. But they pull their ass out, do whatever, and I'm like, I'm in my peripheral. I'm not looking. I'm like, I don't roll that way, you know. So it's like I am straight, and I don't mess with white women too much, because you know, like, it's just a preference.
You don't mess with white women? Why is that?
Not like that. So after I've had a few white women, and I just don't see them, like after a little while they like, I lose attraction to them.
Okay.
I like black women and Mexican women and Asians.
Okay. We all have our preferences.
Yeah, I mean,
it
could be because the fact that I had to raise my 3 sisters and my mom, and but it's just a preference.
Would you like to be married one day and have kids?
I actually have a daughter.
Oh, awesome. What's her name?
Her name is Mia, but my baby's mama, she took my kid out of state, and she's not even a year old yet. She's 6 months, 5 months, I want to say. Took her out of state and told me to basically pretend like nothing ever happened between us and pretend we didn't have a kid together. I hit her up on New Year's to wish her a happy New Year's, wish my daughter a happy New Year's, not her. And you know, let my daughter know I love her. And she told me that you know, her father, her new father, loves her very much, and she's already married and everything. And I'm still having a hard time, because like when I was with her, she did some mental damage as well, and she promised to be my forever and always. I proposed to her. I wrote a couple songs for her, and when she left, it kind of destroyed me. I left scars on my own arms. You know, it was part of that depression, and I had XO, but the O was a heart, and then LH, her initials, XOLH.
Yeah.
Actually, this was LHLH, but I'm powering through it. I'm being the man I know. The suicidal thoughts can't grasp a hold on me. I won't let them. I'm a goat. I'm Capricorn. I climb a mountain, and if I fall, I get up and I do it again until I get over that mountain.
Let's say a few years down the line, your daughter's thinking about using drugs with her friends. How would you talk her out of it?
Well, for one, you know, I would talk to my fellow employees and my managers, any boss I have bigger than me in a position, and I would let them know what's going on, and that I need to be home for my daughter so I can make sure she doesn't get in with the wrong crowd. Let them know what happened in my life, and you know, I'd take a small break from work, maybe a month or two, and then I would be in her life every second of the way, and I would make sure she's attending school and make sure she's doing everything she needs to be, everything she needs to do to be on top of her life, and make sure she's not going down the wrong path with it.
All right. Well, last question. What's your message to your daughter when she sees this later on?
I love you very much, Mia, and I apologize I can't be in your life right now. And I really wish I was on top of my own feet so that I could be there right now and everything would be smooth. And I just wish you'll forgive me for not being there right now, because the last time I seen you, I got to give you a bath, change your diaper, and get to hold you for it wasn't even that long, but I miss you so much.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you, and I wish the best for you. Please keep me posted on what you're doing. We're going to have an update for you. Hopefully, you'll be in a better place, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
And make sure you read the comments when your video goes up, all right?
Okay, for sure. I'll get your YouTube channel and your phone number so I can contact you.
Absolutely, my friend. Amazing interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.